Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have more information to follow up our story from yesterday regarding IGN and apparently their self-implosion that is happening. Now, if you guys missed yesterday's video, I highly suggest you go check it out. We're basically talking about how Kat Bailey and some other journalists apparently have decided to leave IGN because of a potential buyout from Ziff Davis. Now, we have more information regarding that. I wasn't quite sure the full context of the Ziff Davis situation, but apparently it was bad enough to make somebody like Kat Bailey and other journalists leave because I guess they saw the writing on the wall.
This game is amazing. Awesome graphics, awesome gameplay, awesome everything. Just, there's nothing wrong with this game, except one tiny thing. The main character wears denim vest. I do not like denim vests. They suck. 5 out of 10! Everything about this game sucks. Story, gameplay, graphics. I hate it. It's horrible. 10 out of 10. It's okay, I guess.
Now again, guys, keep in mind, IGN and other gaming journalist websites are absolutely dying. It is a situation where there is less than 40 of them left in its entirety in the entire industry. It's insane. They are nowhere near where they used to be, not just a few years ago. And it's rapidly happening over the last year or so. And the reason why, quite frankly, is because consumer trust is non-existent. Nobody trusts gaming journalists anymore, and that is their own fault. Nobody listens to them, barely anybody reads their articles, and most of the people that do read their articles are myself, which compiles information that I find from a multitude of different sources. Now, with that being said, we have a report here from Fandom Pulse that says IGN parent Ziff Davis saw organic revenue decline by 10% since 2021 and now buying out and laying off staff. So let's get into this article, guys, from Fandom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says a new report alleges that Ziff Davis, the parent company of IGN, Eurogamer, Rock Paper Shotgun, VG247, Humble, and more, saw its organic revenue decline by 10% since 2021 and is now mass laying off staff from its various subsidiaries. I mean, to be honest with you, man, gaming journalism within the next year or two is going to be completely cooked. I think at this point it's going to be just very few people left, like John F. Trent and you know, John De La Rosa and all these guys. There's going to be very few people left. And ultimately, IGN, I think, will be the site that's going to stick around, but they're probably going to have very few to little people working over there anymore in terms of gaming journalism, because at the end of the day, they have been fully replaced. That's just the truth of it. They've been replaced by the thousands upon thousands of YouTubers that are out there that anybody can connect with and anybody can watch their content on a daily basis. Whereas IGN, you have heavily filtered, heavily leftist leaning usually content that nobody wants to listen to or read because, quite frankly, it comes from a very biased source of news. And people will be like, well, you grifter, you're very biased. No, there's been times where I've reported on news where people disagreed with me heavily on what I've been saying. I do my best to try to be as objective as possible, and the haters don't know that because they only ever read the headlines and the thumbnails and they never actually watch the videos fully. That's just the case. So again, ultimately at the end of the day, gaming journalism has lost the overall trust of the gaming industry, or I should say gamers in general, not the industry. And at this point, they're going away the dinosaur. It just is what it is. Ex-user Max Tanner reported that Ziff Davis sent out an email at the end of October to its employees revealing that overall organic revenues have declined by 10% since 2021. The company then noted that it attempted to offset this decline through strategic acquisitions, but that it still needed to reduce costs. Given the majority of its costs were with its employees, the company was being faced with a difficult decision to reduce headcount. Next, Ziff Davis management offered a voluntary buyout program to employees who may be ready to move on, explore new opportunities, or just take a break. This program provides a payment equal to 4 to 6 months of your base salary, based on tenure. Plus, for our U.S. employees, continued medical benefits under COBRA. Numerous individuals across Ziff Davis subsidiaries have announced that they have left their respective companies. IGN News Director Kat Bailey announced on X, well, this is it. Today is my last day as IGN. It's been an incredible ride, and I'll miss everyone so much, especially the incredible newsies Alex, Wes, and Red. I'll be focusing on my podcast and personal projects, but open for work too. IGN senior news editor Alex Stedman announced her departure on Instagram. She wrote, announcement time. Next week is my last week at IGN. She added, my last day at IGN is December 13th. After that, barring a trip to Chicago for the holidays, I'm open to talk work opportunities, both within journalism and potentially outside of it. It will be so much more available for lunches, like ridiculously available. Let's get lunch. Oh man, that must be so amazing. Yeah, this seems very normal. Head of the games industry, Christopher Dring, announced his departure. I mean, my God, dude, this is insane. The gaming industry is self-imploding. It really is, and I'm here for it. I really am, because these people are fucking psychopaths, most of them. I don't know any of them personally, obviously, but just based off their Twitter profiles, I think it's pretty clear that they are all mostly activists, and they really just are psychopaths. And we're kind of getting the, it's, at this point, the Grim Reaper has arrived. Let's just put it like that, right? He's knocking on your door. He's been knocking on your door for the last year or so, and now he's officially opened the door, and he's here. Then it says that head of games industry, Christopher Dring, announced his departure on X at the beginning of December. A small piece of news, I'm leaving games industry at the end of the month. It's been quite the 8-year journey. I love the industry. I love business media, and I'll be back in 2025. Although what that will look like is to be worked out. Games industry features editor Marie, I can't say that last name, announced she was leaving on Blue Sky, of course, to nobody. A bittersweet announcement time. My times at game industry will be coming to a close at the end of the year. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. I've done so many incredible things at games industry over the past 5 years. So it seems like there is just massive amounts of people that are leaving. And there's so many more that have probably left that haven't made announcements. That's just the truth of it. And ultimately, IGN is going to be a company just like Kotaku. And Kotaku already made their layoffs, FYI. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Kotaku has fired most of their New York sector. I don't know about anywhere else, but New York was their prime location, and they fired a lot of people that were over there. You know, Alyssa Mercante was one of the people who supposedly left, but then we found out with her lawsuit that she didn't leave. She was forcibly let out. And it's the same thing here. They're basically telling people, listen, we'll buy you out to get the hell out. They don't want to employ these people anymore. They want to voluntarily get these people out as much as they possibly can. So IGN is self-imploding, and gee, I wonder why that is, considering their reporting and the amount of activism that they performed over the last, 5-10 years, especially the last 5 years mostly. At this point, it's just basically done. On top of that, too, it's all coinciding. Don't get it twisted. It's all coinciding with the fact that Donald Trump is also getting in office. At this point, with the election, there was a lot of ad revenue that was going around with the election. Now that ad revenue is gone. It's non-existent at this point. So they can't sustain the activism anymore. They can't sustain these people. They got to get rid of the majority of the people that they have working with them in order to hold them over until maybe the next election cycle, if they're even able to survive that long. But chances are they're not going to be able to. Again, 10% revenue over the last 3 years or so, that's a lot of money to lose, especially for a company that doesn't have a lot of revenue to begin with. These are gaming journalists, right? They don't have a ton of money. It's not like a freaking mass, other big company or whatever the case would be. They don't have as much money. So 10% is a big loss. And the fact that they're even willing to pay out people 4 to 6 months to get the hell out, that shows how desperate they are to reduce payroll. So we'll see what happens with gaming journalism as time goes on. But let it be known that IGN and all the other companies that are on this list, Humble Bundle, Games Industry, Eurogamer, Dicebreaker, Digital Foundry, Hookshot, Rock Paper Shotgun, and VG, let it be known, man, these guys are all cooked. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.